Oh, sorry, spoilers. This video, as you can see in the title, it is the Ultimate Dough Awakening Showcase. It's not the ordinary dough, but it is a dough awakening, you see? This cute ring here. So, as you can see, there's a lot of people who've showcased dough, and this is also going to be one of them. I just wanted to give a showcase to you guys, just because it's actually really cool and a good fruit to use. And it is actually pretty useful for PvP and stuns. So let's find it out. So the first attack, you might think it's the missile jab, but as you can see, I kind of spoiled it. So it was kind of like a tactical spoil of some sort, but it is the click or tap ability. So if you tap or click, depends on what device you're on, it summons a fist, which then punches the enemy in the front, which I think is actually really useful for grinding and sometimes PvP. And it does 1,000 damage, and it does damage. And also, before we start deeply on this showcase, just to tell you that without the haki, like the normal, it actually is white, which I think is also cool. Kind of the milky color, same as the other attacks, but we'll use haki for now because this is how we can defeat low J users. Technically, we don't need haki for dough fruit though, because it's a fruit attack and it's still gonna damage enemies. So let's continue the showcase. So we all know it's one punch, and then two fists. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So let's carry on with the missile jab. I think this is a decent attack. It's also much faster than fried dough. And as you can see, it charges up this great big chunk of dough, shoots it, which kind of knocks you backwards, but it's much faster and it's much more efficient. I think this is a good attack, and I think it should be awakened if you're using a dough, the dough fruit. And look at this, like, it's so, like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. Your haki colors here. And then you shoot, which definitely I think I'd recommend using dough for this one. And on ground, it's kind of looks like this. It kind of doesn't knock you backwards, but you know, just I like how the knockback is more realistic, because as you can see, you shoot a big chunk of dough from your fist, then you definitely should go backwards at least. So the next attack is the Pastry River, which I think is actually a really fun attack to use. So there are two types of the Pastry River. So on ground, when you're touching the ground or running on ground, and the enemy's like standing there, or not standing, moving, you can use a Pastry River attack and summon this thorny dough thingy from the ground, which deals damage when it pops up and slams it back down. Now, the cool thing about this thing is that when you jump on air and you charge this attack, just look at this pose. Okay, I can't see it really. You do something like that. Okay, that was really lame. I'll show it again. So it technically, the second version of this, I think, it's used to get those sky campers back down onto the ground. You really need a lot of good aiming skills for here. For example, look at this sky campers trying to camp the sky. So you send this, and then you set a barrage of punches, which then slams them back onto the ground, which I think is pretty useful, because if you're high up in the sky, it actually slams them back down onto the ground. Because dough is basically, you need it, it's much better on ground. You want to get them back onto the ground so they can combo them. So the third attack is a piercing clothesline, which if you just say the dough awakening, everybody would at least have a picture of this in your mind. So without the observation, please, if we activate this near enemy, we grab them, swing them around like this, and slam them back into the ground, which, I mean, I keep saying which, but this is really dope. Indeed, yeah. So, the good thing about this is, like, the dough unawakened, you can actually, like, roll, so he can stay there, and I'll just roll over to him, and then just swing, and then slam it back down. Look at this radiation, they made it really well. And, yeah, that's the attack, and finally, the Dough Fist Fusillade. Let's look at this from this point of view. It summons a great big barrage of punches, which slams onto the enemy. I'll show you the difference as I use it. So, if you activate it, it punches you, but then you can move this around like this, and then he's going to be closer to you, or you can move it to the opposite side, which I think is much better than the Unawakened. Sure, the Unawakened is like harder to escape and those kind of things. If you move the Dough Fist Fusillade too fast like this, they actually can't escape. So, let's check it out right now. So for an example, he's like running around and like he's very annoying, and then you just grab them and then chase them and then move them around. And then get them close to you so that you can do something like this. Like that. Just like that. 2 attacks and it legit like cut off more than half of its HP. And finally, the cute Scorching Donut, which is just a mini version of the Piercing Clothesline. The cool thing about this is that this attack can actually damage. I mean, it can damage, and it's kind of the rolling, kind of the moving ability. So you roll over the enemy, dealing damage. Also, the really cool thing about this is when you like curve your drive your dough in an angle, like in a big degree, it actually causes this flaming ability. I really love this. And although you won't necessarily like have to like punch the enemy, it's good on speeds because you can do something like this. You can break trees while you're running past, and you can climb you can climb walls with this thing. This is so cool because the Dough Unawakened cannot really climb walls, but the spikes around it probably helps it this time get up. So let's try to PvP with my brother here. He has been great because there's no one else to PvP because we already warded them off with the Dough Awakening. Just to show you guys that he uses the Venom Fruit, Sharkman Karate, and those kind of things, which is necessary. So, start it off, hit me with the Acidum Rifle so that we can know that we're PvPing. So, the PvP is now begun. Of course, the classic Venom. Sure. Oh. I forgot about the Soru. Also, kind of like the missile jab, when it's not exploding, it actually can be dodged with Ken, so that's also something to worry about. So you grab them back down into the ground, and then barrage them. Oh. See, like, yeah, it slams it so hard that it sometimes can be hard to calculate where it lands. And like that, you ward it off. Oh. I'm learning new things as I make this video, which I think is also a part of my brain, I think. So I grab him here, swing them around, which is actually really clean, and then actually move up because they slam it too hard that actually it kind of gets them down. So as you can see, I'm actually not using a specific combo yet because just that he's currently acting as a spammer, like, you know, annoying times where he just spams the noxious shot and stuff. He's kind of really good at acting, so it actually almost feels like he's actually a Venom spammer for me. I think it's really cool like this. Barrage him. And then he's a Venom spammer. And just like that, Venom, that shows you the power of the spammable fruits. Guess I lost that one. But technically, it's not over yet with the dough fruit. And it still is great because, like, the venom fruit, for an example, it poisons you, which kind of distracts you from using these things. So that's pretty much it. I'm a noob at PvP. I lost some bounty, and yeah, I hope you guys have a really good day. The rest of your day. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.